The lawyer who had everything, and lost himself, the monk who sold his Ferrari. The monk who sold his Ferrari, Robin Sharma. What does success look like? For most people, it looks exactly like Julian Mantle's life. He is one of the most successful lawyers in the country, a man whose name carries weight in every courtroom he enters. He lives in a luxurious mansion, wears expensive tailored suits, owns a private jet, and drives the kind of car that turns heads before it even stops, a red Ferrari. From the outside, he is the embodiment of achievement, the kind of man people admire and quietly envy. But Robin Sharma begins the story by showing us a truth that sits beneath the surface of modern ambition: external success can hide internal collapse. Julian's life is built on relentless pressure. He works endlessly, sacrifices sleep, ignores relationships, and measures his worth through status, performance, and possessions. His days are consumed by deadlines and conflict, and over time the life he has built begins to consume him. Then, in the middle of a courtroom, everything breaks. Julian collapses from a massive heart attack. This moment is not just a medical crisis, it is the symbolic death of the life he has been living. Sharma uses this turning point brilliantly because it forces a question that many people avoid asking themselves: what is the point of success if it destroys the person who achieves it? After recovering, Julian disappears. He sells everything: the mansion, the jet, the status symbols, and most famously, the Ferrari. The title itself is meant to shock because the Ferrari is not merely a car. It represents ego, ambition, and the version of success society teaches us to chase. By selling it, Julian is not simply changing his lifestyle, he is rejecting an identity. He leaves the world he knows and travels to the Himalayas, where he begins a spiritual journey in search of something his old life never gave him: peace. There, he meets the sages of Savannah, a group of monks who teach him timeless principles about discipline, purpose, and inner mastery. This is where the book shifts from story into transformation. The lessons Julian learns are delivered through vivid symbols and metaphors, which makes the book especially powerful for storytelling content. One of the most memorable ideas is that the mind is like a garden. If you do not consciously plant it with clarity, purpose, and positive thought, it will naturally fill with weeds, fear, anxiety, resentment, distraction. This metaphor resonates because it translates psychology into something visual and intuitive. Your life becomes the result of what you allow to grow in your mind. Another central lesson is purpose. The monks teach Julian that a person without a clear purpose drifts through life reacting to circumstances, while a person with purpose creates direction and meaning. This idea runs through the entire book. True fulfillment does not come from accumulating more, but from aligning your life with what genuinely matters. Sharma also emphasizes discipline as freedom. At first, this sounds paradoxical. Most people associate discipline with restriction, but the book reframes it. Discipline is what protects your focus. It is what allows you to control impulses rather than be controlled by them. It is the structure that creates peace. There is also a powerful emphasis on time. Julian realizes that the most valuable asset in life is not money, but time and attention. Money can be earned again, time cannot. This is one of the book's most enduring lessons for modern audiences, especially in an age of constant distraction. The deeper Julian goes into these teachings, the more clearly he sees the emptiness of his previous life. Success without meaning is simply exhaustion wearing luxury clothes. By the end of the book, Julian returns transformed, not as a man who has rejected ambition, but as someone who has redefined it. Ambition is no longer about status. It is about self-mastery, no longer about recognition. About contribution, no longer about owning more, about becoming more. That is what makes The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari more than a self-help book. It is a fable about modern life itself. It asks a deeply uncomfortable question: if everything you are chasing disappeared tomorrow, who would you still be? And perhaps that is why the story remains so powerful. Because beneath the monk, the Ferrari, and the Himalayan wisdom lies a truth many people recognize in themselves. Sometimes the life that looks most successful from the outside is the one most in need of transformation.